This past September, South African pastor Joshua Makala predicted the rapture, or the second coming of Jesus. He said that it would occur on Tuesday, September 23rd, or Wednesday, September 24th. Now, his claims went viral on TikTok, and some of the younger generation who are not active in church really believed and bought into what he was saying. Now, since it is November 30th, and we're all here, we can say that the rapture did not come in September, more than likely. Rapture theology has been a mainstay in American evangelism since the 1930s, when John Nelson Darby introduced the concept of Christians being taken up immediately into heaven. Now, this passage in Matthew does say the coming of the human one will be like that. And at once there will be two men in the field, and one will be taken up and the other will be left. And two women will be grinding at a mill, and one will be taken and the other will be left. But Jesus is really clear that when this time happens, when the coming of Christ again happens, no one will know the day or the hour in which it is to occur. Has not stopped us every generation having someone who promises that they know the day and the hour. About 10 years ago, my children came home from summer camp. And any time anyone asked what time it was, they would yell, 7:47. Middle of the afternoon, 7:47. Morning before breakfast, 7:47. In the evening before bedtime, 7:47. Finally, we asked them, what is the deal with 7:47? Now, you all have probably heard of 6-7. That's been a thing lately. This is not the same thing. They actually had a reason for yelling out 7:47. They explained that they were taught at camp that it came from Luke chapter 7, verse 47. No one knows the day or the hour that the Lord would come. And so anytime someone asked what time it was at camp, the counselors would tell them it's 7:47. It's about being fully present in the moment that we're in. They were told, don't look ahead, but be right here, right now. Advent is not just about being in the moment that we're in. It's about finding the moment that we're in to be a sacred moment, to be a holy moment that is set apart for God. Chelsea Steiner Shooter defines sacred as that which pulls us beyond the bounds of our individual selves, envelopes us within mystery, and gives us a glimpse into the vast, entwined, eternal network of living beings we are in relationship with. The sacred pulls us beyond the bounds of our individual selves. I like that. Advent is the time we slow down to remember what we often lose in the midst of ordinary life. The day of the Lord is coming. Be ready. Get ready. Advent gives us a time where we are called to be pulled beyond the bounds of our individual selves, our individual lives, our ordinariness, into the sacred. To lean in even when the sacred seems unbelievable. In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus follows up this warning. Nobody knows the day or the time or the hour, not the angels in heaven nor the Son, only the God knows. He follows that by talking about Noah. In the days of Noah, according to Genesis 6, verses 11 and 12, the earth was corrupt and filled with violence. God saw that the earth was corrupt because all of the creatures behaved corruptly on the earth. God looked at the earth and its people and decided that only Noah and his family were worth saving. That everyone else had become too corrupted, and so he would send a flood to cover the earth, and the only survivors would be Noah and his family. God came to Noah and commanded Noah to build an ark and to board the ark with his household and with a variety of animals. And so Noah began to build. He began to build a huge structure in the middle of the desert where there was no water to be seen for any distance. 450 feet long, 5 stories tall, 75 feet across. Can you imagine what the neighbors were saying? Noah had lost his mind. He was spending his whole life, all of his resources, all of his time, all of his energy, doing something that was a waste, that had no purpose. When the flood came, the ark no longer looked like a waste of time and money and energy. It looked like the most important thing that had ever been built. Noah was prepared for something that no one else on earth was ready for. Now, we live in a world today where many people might look at church buildings and say, why do we have these gigantic church buildings? What purpose do they serve? They sit in the middle of city blocks and country squares, and for what reason? Why do these people inside of these buildings pour all of their time and their energy and their effort into something that there is no reason on the horizon that we see that could make them be purposeful? But like Noah, we followers of Jesus know that we are preparing for something, not just to make us feel good on Sunday morning when we leave, not just to get us ready for the week ahead. We are getting ready for something that will monumentally change the world, that will fundamentally change the foundations on which we live. In this new beginning, in this new church year, Jesus compares the coming of Christ to the days of Noah. He's not doing this to comfort us. He's doing it to warn us and to wake us up. Like the people who surround Noah, it is easy to become focused on only what is around us, or on our wants, or on our needs. Every generation of God's followers has dealt with this. Every generation has looked up and saw that the world was not quite as God wanted it to be. In the midst of eating and drinking, in the midst of Christmas preparations and parties and cookie baking and shopping and wrapping, Advent calls us to remember what we know. Our hope is not found in what we gain in this world. Our hope is found in what God prepares for us in the world yet to come. Jesus invites us to step into the sacred, to point and live in such a way that those around us can see what is to come. Romans tells us As you do all of this, you know what time it is. The hour has already come for you to wake up from your sleep. The night is almost over, and the day is near. We don't know what night that will be. We don't know what day it will be, but we are building an ark in the midst of a world where few can see its value. It is an ark made of love and justice, an ark that points to the hope of what God will do in the world and for his people. Being ready means finding the sacred in the moments that we are in. To breathe deep, to not rush, but to walk with Christ into whatever the future is that God has for us. In The Universal Christ, Richard Rohr writes, "The essential function of religion is to radically connect us with everything. It is to help us see the world and ourselves in wholeness, not just in parts. Truly enlightened people see oneness because they look out from oneness, instead of labeling everything as superior or inferior, in or out." Advent is perhaps one of the most religious times of our year. We have traditions that connect us to past generations that we use to connect with future generations. We are drawn to church even when it is perhaps the only time of year that we come. We reconnect in this season to moments and to people, sending out Christmas cards to folks that we maybe have not seen for years, but once a year make a connection with. Religion at its very best reconnects us to everything around us, to people, to places, to the land on which we stand, to the food which we eat. Advent is a collection of sacred hours. It's this hour and the next hour and the one after that. It's the preparation for the unexpected hour, where we wait and hope and heed the call to wake up, to see what is coming. There is light and hope and possibilities, the chance to participate in a future not yet, but what has been revealed to us in Christ. The time is 7:47, and the possibilities of what God can and will do are infinitely ahead of us. How are we getting ready? I invite you to spend some time in reflection. There will be questions on the screen, and you can reflect in your heart or with your neighbor.